Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Vandami, Venerable Bhante, and good morning to all of you in North America, and also good evening to the people in India. It's around 8:30 to 9 in between. So let's begin with today's session. I would like to thank you all for inviting me for this special session as a guest lecturer. So today's topic is Dana. So before starting, I want to know from the participants, what do you understand from the word Dana? You can unmute yourself, or else you can chat, or else you can send a message on the chat box. And you can unmute and just tell me what you understand with the word Dana.
Dana is giving food.
Yes, very nice. Good.
And flowers, and you can give.
Yes, right. Okay, anything else you understand by the word Dana? Yes, please, you have to speak. You just can't listen to the lecture, right? You have to speak, you have to participate. I want to know what you know about Dana. Don't be scared, just tell what you know, because this word is very common, right? Dana word is used in Marathi language, Hindi language, in Pali language too. In Sanskrit also you can see. English we say it as generosity. Means this is not a new terminology for all of us. Then why we need to know about Dana? This is the question. So I wanted to know. You can chat, na? You can just message.
So Megha, is it giving something which you have to someone who needs it, without any intentions of getting anything in return, whether publicity or anything back from it?
Right, very nice, very correct. Okay, so I think,
I think, ma'am, it is also meant that we are giving away our possession and giving away the right on that possession. So we are not claiming any attachment to that thing after that.
Yes, very good answer. Right. Anyone else?
Generosity, which is one of the perfections that we practice in Buddhism.
Yes.
And not necessarily mean financial, but any ways you can do dana, not just financial, but by physical, mental, spiritually. You can give or donate. That is the purpose of dana.
Yes, very nice. I've got many answers, and the answers are very close. So let us see what Buddha says about Dana from Pali literature, from Tipitaka, the original source. So I have put some photographs of Dana ceremonies of various countries. You can see the Dana ceremony pictures of the monks sitting, and the people and lay followers are giving the Chivara Dana. You can just see the photographs. You can see the lay follower, the discipline the lay followers are maintaining. They are in the line, and the monks are in between, and they are donating. So much of crowd, so many people wants to donate. Why? You can see here also so much respect that the monks are walking on the floral ground. You can see, and the people are venerating them. There are hundreds and thousands of people who are venerating the Sangha. Here you can see the Sangha and the disciple and the lay followers. The discipline you can see, and the number of the lay followers, Upasaka. Here you can see the food donation. Here you can see the Chivara donation, Chivara Dan, what we say. And also here you can again see the donation in that is a Pinda Pata. You can see the bowls in the hands of the monks. So let us see what is Dana. So Dana is generosity or giving, a form of alms. It is a practice of cultivating generosity. Ultimately, the practice culminates in one of the perfections, that is paramita, the perfection of giving, Dana paramita. Giving is the first of the 10 paramitas perfected by the Buddha. Therefore, in the march towards enlightenment, Nibbana, one initially has to practice giving, that is Dana. This is because it is the best weapon against greed, raga, the main cause of our suffering. So, as per Petavattu, there is one gatha given of a sowing seed, that is on charity, we will see. But before that, we just take a look in the past. So when we talk about Dana, we remember few people who made donations for the Sangha. Anatha Pindika, covering the path with gold coins, Jetavana, Savatri. Veduvana, Rajagaha, given by King Bimbisara. Jivaka donated Jivaka Arama in Rajgir. Vishakha Migaramata erected Kubba Arama close to Sravasti. Also in former lifetime, long ago at the time of Buddha Kasapa, she had given a generous gift of 5 kinds of dairy products to a company of 20,000 monks and novices. Donation of Ghatikara, donation of food to the Buddha. Ashokan inscription dating to 3rd century BC. We get references of Dana from various inscriptions on pillars, stupa, on the walls, etc. Also, Dana was the first word written in Brahmi inscription, which was deciphered by James Prinsep. In Jataka stories, the most famous story is the story of King Vesantara and his donation. Giving is a very fine way of helping to overcome attachment. Generosity of Bodhisattva Mahasudassana, donation of King Sivi, giving both his eyes. Sasa Jataka, donation of self. So there are so many examples that we find in Tipitaka, that is canonical Pali literature, then Ashokan inscriptions, then non-canonical Pali literature, that is Jataka Attakatha. There are so many stories which are depicting the Dana Paramita, which are narrating the Dana Paramita, the stories, and how people used to give donations in various ways, the way possible. This is a Bharut panel, Bharut Stupa panel, where you can see it is on about the Anathapindika Dana. You can see the coins spread on the ground in the entire park. These are gold coins. That is the Jetavana, Shravasti. So this was drawn on the panel, rock panel. You can see carved out on the rock panel. So, and this is the actual Jetavana today. If you go and visit this site, this is actual Jetavana. So on the entire ground, the gold coins were spread. It was a donation of Anathapindika. So now let us move to the basic of Pali references. This was all the background. So let us see the Pali Gatha. That is Kheta Upama Arhantu, Dayaka Kasaka Upama, Bija Upamam Deya Dhammam, Pat Eto Nibbatatte Phala. Recipients are the fields, donors are the farmers, offertories are the seeds sown, and benefits are the fruits. You can see here the farmer is sowing the seed. So the farmer is donor. And the field, that is the recipient. More fertile the field, more good quality will be your crops. So the seeds are your dana and the crops are the resultant, that is termed as vipaka. So the donor and the recipient, then the dana and the crops. So the crops are the fruits that are the resultants. This is the law of nature. If you give, you get it back. This is the law of nature. It depends on what you give and with what intention you give. So that gives the results. That defines the results. That defines the fruits or the vipaka, as said in Pali. The Sangha is described as Anuttarang Punya Ketang Lokasa, an unequaled field of merit making for the world. The Sangha, who is walking on the path of the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, it is termed as unequaled field of merit making for the world. So as said by the Buddhas, there are qualities pursued by the good person. There are these 3 qualities that are possessed by the good person. That is Saddha, that is faith. Faith on what? Faith on Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Hiryam, that is moral shame. Moral shame if committed anything bad or anything unwholesome. So moral shame. Kusalancha Danam, that is wholesome giving. These are the qualities of a good person. So I want you all to think it for a while and decide whether you all are eligible for this as a good person or not. These are the qualities. You have to just think over it. If you are fulfilling it, then it's great. If not, then you have to work on it. So no problem. When you get to know, then you have to start working on it. So faith towards Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Moral shame, if you commit anything unwholesome, and wholesome giving, that is Kusalang Chadanam. As per Punya Kiriya Vattu Sutta, Tini Mani Bhikkave, Punya Kiriya Vattuni, Bhikkhus, there are these 3 bases of meritorious activities. That is Dana, Mayang, Punya Kiriya Vattu. Meritorious activity consisting in giving. Meritorious activity consisting in virtuous behavior. And meritorious activity consisting in meditative development. So for today's lecture, we are just covering the Dana, that is the first, Dana, Mayang, Punya Kiriya Vattu. But there are 3 through which you can generate meritorious activity or you can do merits. When the Buddha preaches to a newcomer, he starts his graduated teaching with an exposition on virtues of giving, that is Dana Katha. Only after the person has come to appreciate this virtue would he introduce the aspects of his teaching. Advantages of giving gifts. So one must be thinking, then what are the advantages of giving? Why should I give? So Buddha tells that also. Buddha gives everything in detail. So let us see it. So Panchime Bhikkhave Dane Anisansa. Monks, there are these 5 advantages from gifts. Bahuno Janasa Piyo Hoti Manapo. He is good and dear to many people. The person who gives donations. Santo Sab Purisa Bhajanti. Good and wise men love him. Kalyano Kitti Saddho. Abhu Gacchati. A good report is spread abroad about him. Gihi Dhamma Anapagato Hoti. He does not go away from the household of Dhamma. Kayasa Veda Parang Marana Sugating Saggam Lokam Upapajjati. On breaking up of the body, after death, he is reborn in the happy heaven world. So what is the highest form of dana? Eta Daggang Bhikkave Dananang Yadidang Dhamma Danam. The gift of the Dhamma is the greatest gift of all. Dve Mani Bhikkave Danani. There are 2 types of offerings. Amisa Danancha, that is offering material, and Dhamma Danancha, offering the teaching, Dhamma. Eta Daggang Bhikkave Imesang Dvinnang Dananam Yadidang Dhamma Danam. Of these 2, offering, the teaching, the Dhamma is the best. Then, to whom the gift should be given? Silavato Dinnang Mahafalang Vadami. No Tatha Dussilas. The gift given to one of the virtuous behavior is more fruitful than what is given to an immoral person. So this is actually the procedure, that what gift should be given, to whom should be given, and why should be given, what are the benefits. Now, what are the gifts of a good person? What you should donate? There are these 8 gifts of a good person as per Sappurisa Dana Suttam. So as per Sappurisa Dana Suttam of Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha says that there are 8 gifts of a good person. Suching Deti, he gives what is pure. Panitang Deti, he gives what is excellent. Kalena Deti, he gives a timely gift. Kappiyang Deti, he gives what is allowable. Vicheya Deti, he gives after investigation. Abhinnang Deti, he gives often. Dadang Chittang Pasadeti, while giving, he settles his mind in confidence. And Datva Attamanohuti, having given, he is elated. These are the 8 gifts of a good person. So while giving, you have to think on all these 8 parameters, that you have to give what is pure, that everything should be pure and of greater quality. It should not be the thing that is lying down with you and it is not useful for you, and that's the reason you are donating. That is not a donation, or that is not a dana. When you are preparing for a dana, you are actually thinking about that person, that what that person requires at this time. And accordingly, you plan your dana, the material of dana, and that too of pure quality, of a greater quality, of high quality, the way you will purchase for yourself. That in the same way, you have to donate the same quality of gift to the donor, to the recipient. So that is a good dana. That is what is excellent, and it should be timely. It should not be that I have given the dana one time. Dana is not that I give once in a year or I give twice in a year. It is not like that. Dana is a timely gift. You have to give it when it is required. When there is a situation that you know that now I need to give a dana. Anytime it can be. Now this is a pandemic situation. You know that there are many people who requires many things, material things, or somebody needs money, finance. So it depends timely gift when it is required. When that person requires that dana, that time you have to be there and you should donate. That is a good dana. And you have to give what is allowable, and that too after investigation. You have to investigate what that person needs, and you have to give often. It does not count to numbers at once or twice or thrice. The more of it depends on you how often you can give. While giving, he settles his mind and confidence. And having given, he is elated. So these are 8 gifts of good person. So we'll move ahead. Just a moment, my slide, I think it is. So factors to be considered while giving and accepting gifts. There are 3 factors to the giver. So when a person is giving, that is a donor. So there are these 3 factors of the donor. So please listen it carefully. So whenever you are donating, how you have to donate? What should be your state of mind? So this is very important. So Dayako Kubbeva Dana Sumanohuti. Even before giving, the giver has a pleasant mind. Before giving, the giver has a pleasant mind. Dadam chittam pasadeti. While giving, the mind is pleased. Datva attamanohuti. And having given, the mind is pleased. So this threefold, in a threefold way, the dan should be given. That is, before giving, the mind should be pleasant. While giving, the mind should be pleased. And after giving also, the mind should be pleased. It should not be like that you are giving forcefully, that somebody has told you that you have to give, and that's the reason you are giving it forcefully. No, you should not give it forcefully. You should be prepared and you should be willing to give. So that is a good dana. And while giving, your mind should be pleased. And after giving also, you should be satisfied. It should not be that what I have given now, I want it back. Your mind should not crave for the same thing that what you have donated. If you have donated now, it does not belong to you. That is clear. So one has to understand. Then next is the factors of the acceptor or factor of the recipient. Patigahaka vitaragava honti raga vinayayava patipanna. Here the acceptor is free of greed. He should be free of anger. He should be free of delusion. So 3 factors of the giver and 3 factors of the recipients. 5 factors of the recipient to possess. Additional 5 factors we can see in Vachya Gota Suttam, that the recipient should have the virtuous behavior. He should practice virtuous behavior. He should have one-pointedness, that is concentration of mind. He should be endowed with wisdom. He should have attained liberation. And he should have attained knowledge and vision of liberation of one beyond training. So factors that strengthen the beneficial results of dana. So what are the factors that strengthen the beneficial results of dana? So bhikkhus, a gift given to ascetics and Brahmin who possess 8 factors is of great fruit and benefit. And it is extraordinarily brilliant and pervasive. Now what are these 8 factors? Here the ascetics and Brahmins are of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. You can see these are all the 8-fold path that you can see. That is the 4th noble truth, 8-fold path. That is a Arya Atthangikam Magga. That is a person who is walking on 8-fold path. That is the middle path. That is also a person to whom you can give the gifts, which can give a good result or the good vipaka. So now we understood why to donate, what are the benefits of donation, to whom should the donation be given, and what should be given. Now let's see the procedure to donate. So you can see this chart, this diagram, right? So here you can see Dasa Punya Vattu. That is, there are 10 meritorious activities overall. One is Dana and one is Metta. So Dana is giving and Metta is loving kindness. And both are perfections. If you see in 10 perfection, both are perfection. So you have to see the relation between Dana and Metta, that Dana ripens Metta, loving kindness, and Metta ripens Dana, that is giving. And Dana and Metta are both Chetana, that is volition, that is at intention. Dana and Metta, that is giving, and loving kindness are both intention of giving. Both are intention of giving. Dana and Metta are both intention of giving. So Dana is giving with the Chetana of goodwill, and Metta is the Chetana of goodwill. So you have to give donation with Metta, with loving kindness. Your mind should be filled with loving kindness towards the recipient. So this is the procedure to Dana, that Dana, while giving Dana, your mind, your actions, everything should be filled with Metta, loving kindness. So this is the procedure. So what is Metta? Metta is loving kindness, goodwill towards all beings. It is the first of the 4 sublime states, Brahma Vihara. This is love without clinging, the cultivation of loving kindness. Metta Bhavana, that is developing loving kindness toward themselves, then one's loved ones, friends, teachers, strangers, enemies, and finally towards all sentient beings. Also in Saraniya Sutta, we come to know about the friendly behavior through body, speech, and mind. That is Mitta Kaya Kamma, Mitta Vachi Kamma, and Mitta Mano Kamma. It means whenever any action is performed by body, speech, and mind, it should be accompanied with goodwill, loving kindness. As the action performed by body, speech, and mind should remain same for respective person when in public and when in private. So with just performing action, the task is not accomplished. It should be accompanied with Mitta. So how to cultivate this pure Chetana? Now, how to cultivate your intentions? This is all the procedures. Hope you all are understanding it. Just let me know. Are you everybody with me?
Yes,
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay. So let us see how to cultivate this pure Chetana. The merit of Dana has its base in the mental state of non-greed, that is alobha. It should be performed without any expectation for any worldly gain, but for the liberation from all sufferings only. It should be given with loving kindness, that is metta. The Chetana of Dana should be selfless and loving, free from the association with any wrong view, craving and conceit. It should have the base of non-hatred, that is adosa. It should be performed with the understanding of karma and vipak, cause and effect. It should have the base of non-delusion, that is amoha. So non-greed, non-hatred and non-delusion are the base of a pure dana, good dana. State of mind while giving. That is the hetuka, three roots of kushala chitta should be there. That is alobha. Which are these three roots? These are the alobha, that is non-greed and non-attachment, towards the object or towards the material that you are giving. So you should not be attached to that object. Then adosa, that is non-hatred, that is goodwill or loving kindness. And amoha, wisdom, is called hetuka kusala chitta. That is alobha, non-greed, adosa, non-hatred, and amoha, that is wisdom. This is called as hetuka kusala chitta. All good deeds done with the understanding of karma and vipak fall into this category. So you have to remember that you have to cultivate this hetuka chitta slowly. So kusala kamma chitta, that is alobha, means dana, that is giving away. Adosa means metta, that is loving kindness, so going away from hatred. And amoha is panya, that is knowledge, that is living, going away from ignorance. So you have to develop dana to get rid of attachments and craving. You have to develop metta to get rid of hatred, and you have to develop knowledge, panya, to come out from ignorance, the darkness of ignorance. So these are the three things that you have to develop. You don't have to pay attention towards your akusala. They will automatically get removed if you cultivate dana, mitta and panya. So exert your energy and work towards cultivating these three kusala kammas chitta, that is dana, metta and panya, which is nothing but alobha, adosa and amoha in technical terms. So formula for kusala kamma to get a good vipaka or the good resultant is kusala kamma plus hetuka kusala chitta, that is alobha plus adosa plus amoha, is equal to kusala vipaka. Only actions are not enough. Your state of mind should also have to be kusala, accompanied with hetuka kusala chitta, alobha, adosa and amoha. So that was all about the chitta, chetana, how you have to develop your state of mind. Now what gifts can be given in dana? So as per Janu Soni Suttam, these are the list of gifts, that is food, annang, drink, panang, cloth, vathang, vehicles, yanang, garlands, mala, scents, gandha, creams, vilepanam, beds, sanya, lodging, vasatha and lamps, padipeya. You can donate food, you can donate juices, water, anything liquid. You can donate chivara, you can donate flowers, then you can donate land. If anybody have land and they wish to donate, they can donate it to the Sangha for building of the monasteries, temples. That also, in ancient time, we can see that the kings, people used to donate their lands. You can see that Jivaka, Arama, gardens, parks have been donated. Then you can donate, you can see this Ajanta Ellora. You can see places to stay and vihara. These are the places donated by that time Upasaka, Upasika, king and queens. You can see the inscriptions written over there by the people who have donated those viharas places. This is Ajanta. You can see this vihara structure inside, and you can see these rooms, right? You can see these rooms also in the vihara structure. And inside the room, you can see this rock bed where the bhikkhus used to sit, meditate, sleep and do their daily work, right? This is it. You can see these water reservoirs in the rocket architecture structure, water places, that is wells. were dug there for the people so that they can drink water. This is the drinking water, right? We have tested this water in the water labs, in the water industry, where this bottled water has been manufactured, and we found that this water is more pure than the bottled water or the packaged water. It was proved. So this water is very safe to drink. This is very pure water which is flowing from the rocks. So these are these two water. Every rocket architecture you can find these water places, and you can see these gardens donated by the Jetavana Shravasti. Then you can see Jivakarama Rajgir, then Veduvana Rajgir. Then you can donate knowledge. If you have knowledge, then you can give knowledge, Paya. Then you can donate medicines. In ancient India, we get a reference from Pali literature. For Bhesaja, the monks used to, Buddha allowed them these 4 things as medicines, that is ghee, then jaggery, then sesame oil, and honey. And you can also donate medicines, modern medicines, where if you find anybody ill, if the Sangha is not keeping well, then you can donate even medicines in this pandemic, or in any time whenever required. So medicines. Then you can donate lamps. Lamps means torches, lights, or you can give facility of electricity in any temples, viharas, monasteries, wherever there is no such facilities, then you can provide from your side. Then you can donate beds, means something for sitting, sleeping, comfort sitting and sleeping, you can donate. And now these are all the things that you can donate. Now what if you donate this, then what are the fruits? What you will get, what I will get? Now everybody have the right to know what they are going to get after donating, right? So this is the right knowledge, that you have to know the kamma and also its vipaka. You have done the good kamma of donating. Now let us see what are the vipaka. So vipaka. So the vipaka given is agasming, for those giving gifts, for the foremost kind of merit increases. Foremost life, they get a long life. They get beauty, they get glory, they get good reputation, happiness and strength, bala. Agasming danang dadatang aggam puyyang pavadhati. If you give high quality of dana, you will get high quality of merits, good merits. You will have good life, that you will have a long lifespan. You will have beauty, you will have glory, good reputation in the society, happiness and strength. Buddha taught that a person giving alms to monks or virtuous poor people gains blessing. Those who gives gift bear fruits even if the person does not follow the 5 precepts. Means you are a donor, but sometimes you don't follow the 5 precepts. That is Panchashila, that we call Panchashila. You fail to practice Panchashila, but you are a donor. Still you will get blessings, or you will get the merits. But he give gifts to someone in the form of food, clothes, vehicles, sleeping mats, proper place to stay, etc. They get the following birth if they do not follow 5 precepts. They will get good births even if they don't follow the 5 precepts, but they will get a birth of an elephant who gets everything to eat and all other good things. He is an elephant, but he does not have to go searching for food. He will get good food. He will live a good life, comfortable life throughout his entire journey. Or he will be born as an horse, bull or dog who will get proper food and care. So they will not have to struggle anywhere. I know some people must be amazed to when I'm speaking about the rebirth, next birth. Many, I know that, but no problem. Even if you believe, even if you don't believe, it doesn't make any difference, right? It is something given in the Tipitaka, right? It is given by the Buddha. We say it as Buddha Vachana. We can negate these statements, but before negating, we have to become eligible for negating the Buddha Vachana. If you think it is not true, we have to. And how you will become eligible? You have to study the entire Tipitaka given by the Buddha. You have to practice it. And if any of the things said by the Buddha does not match with the theory, then you have all the right to say, I don't agree. But before that, you cannot say these statements, because we are not eligible still as a lay follower. But as an academician, you have to study it thoroughly, and then only you can say anything. Whatever I'm telling you is everything from Tipitaka, from Pali literature. Who follows 5 precepts? And the person who is following the 5 precepts and he is a donor, then what are the results or what are the fruits for him? He or she will get birth among humans and will get proper food to eat. He or she will get birth among humans and will get proper food to eat, and also enjoy the 5 sensual desires. He will also get whatever he wants, whatever are the enjoyments of the five senses, he will enjoy all the five sensual pleasures also. If he is a donor, and also if he practices five precepts. So now these are a few more examples. If you are giving a dana with faith, then that person is rich with much wealth, with many possessions, and she is well built, handsome, beautiful, extremely inspiring, endowed with a lotus-like complexion. So this is all given in suttas. If he gives attentively, very attentively, properly, he is rich with much wealth, with many possessions, and his children's, wives, slaves, servants, and workers listen carefully to him, lend him their ears, and serve him with understanding hearts. If he give timely gifts, donations, he is rich with much wealth, with many possessions, and his goals are fulfilled in time. If he gives with compassionate heart, he is rich with much wealth, with many possessions, and his mind inclines to the enjoyment of the five strings of lavish sensuality. And one who gives without adversely affecting himself or others. Many a times people donate even if they don't have. They donate even if there is very little with them, and then they give, then they don't divide their salaries properly. So you have to divide your income properly, so that while giving, your life or your daily life should not get adversely impacted with that act, because donation is a meritorious act. It should not affect your life. So there is a sutta of Samma Ajivika where Buddha tells how to divide your salary income into various categories, and one category is donation to the Sangha. One category is donation. So your every month's income should have one part for the Sangha, donation for the Sangha. It is not the act that you have to do yearly. Donation is not the act of giving donation yearly. It is a regular activity, like your salary comes regularly. From that salary, one part is for the Sangha. The donation is for the Sangha. So you have to understand how to donate. You have to give it timely. That is called timely, and that too without adversely affecting himself or others. So the person who gives the dana in this way is rich with much wealth, with many possessions, and not from anywhere does destruction come to his property, whether from fire, from water, from kings, from thieves, or from hateful hires. His wealth is never been destructed by any other hurdles. His wealth is always secured with him. One should also know that if dana is without the chetana of goodwill, metta, it will not yield the results as seen in below verse, as seen in Panchagati Deepanam. He who gives with regrets, or for securing good rebirth, or through fear, or for glory or happiness, gets a bad fruit thereof. The dana should be selfless. It should be a selfless dana. You should not give the dana with some expectation. It has to be a selfless activity. So one who gives selfless, that person gets a good merits. That person gets a merits. The donor is also described as one who keeps an open house for the needy. Anavatta dwaro. He is like a wellspring, open a bhuto for recluses, Brahmans, the destitute, wayfarers, wanderers, and beggars. Being such a one, he does meritorious deeds. He is munificent, mutta chagu, and is interested in sharing his blessings with others. Dana samvi bhagarat. He is philanthropist who understands the difficulties of the poor. He is open-handed and is ready to comply with another's request. He is one fit to be asked from, yacha yoga. He takes delight in distributing gifts to the needy and has a heart bent on giving. Such are the epithets used in the suttas to describe the qualities of a liberal-minded. There is this Patamang Dana Paramita. First parami is the Dana Paramita. Yathapi kumbho sampunno, yassa kassachi adhokatu, vamate udakang nisesang na tatha parirakhati. Tatheva yachake diswa hinang ukathang majhime, dadahi danang nisesang kumbho viyo adhokatu. As a brimming water jar overturned by one discharges entirely all the water and retains none within, even so when thou seest any that ask, great, small, and middling, do thou give away all in alms as the water jar overthrown. You can see this water jar, inverted water jar. All the water is been spilled, is spilling out. There is nothing. So you have to, like the water jar is empty, the water has been completely out of the pot. So in this way, the donor has to donate. It is also said that in the text of Panchagati, that whatever is given to others at the proper time, in a proper way, remains stored in the same way to be received back in the next birth. Whatever you will give now, it is stored for you only, like a bank account. It is for you only. Also, it is said that charity is the main cause of all kinds of happiness. Dhanang sabba sukhanang hi paramang karanang mattam. The man who gives gifts by being indifferent to his her self-interest with a mind full of kindness for the good of others get good fruits thereof. So the person who gives gifts without any self-interest, he gets a good fruits thereof. So here is the pot of Dana. Now visually you can see that this is the pot of Dana and the water is spilling out. The water is falling out completely. So what we think, the pot is empty, right? So we think that the pot is empty. Now this is the pot of paramita, that is the perfection. There are 10 perfections, Dana paramita. So this is the pot of Dana paramita, right? This is the pot of Dana paramita. So just remember these two images, that what we have seen, that this is the empty pot, that is the Dana that you are giving. And this is the pot of paramita that we fill it drop by drop by our generosity. So this is the reality. We think the pot is empty, but where the water is falling? The water is falling in your own pot of paramita. It is getting stored for you. See this. This is your Dana. The water is completely out. What we thought, the pot is empty. But there is a big pot down there which is collecting your Dana, which is collecting everything, and it is not getting wasted. It is collecting everything, and this is the pot of paramita. You are filling it drop by drop by your act of generosity. So whatever you give is stored for you only. It is getting stored in your own pot of paramita. And whenever you will require any time in your life, it will come back to you in some or the other form. Believe me, it is true. Whenever you will give, just forget about what you have given. You have given it with metta. But whenever in life, if such situation comes and you need something, you need help, you will see automatically from some or the other source you receive the help. So that is the magic of Dana Paramita. It is stored in your own pot of paramita. Human form is born to give. We are born to give. It's our duty to give, donate. Now this is a picture, right? What you can see in this picture? Can anybody tell me? What can you see in this picture? Tell me. Speak out. Why people are not speaking?
Hi there.
Yes.
I can see some claws of animals.
Correct. Yes. So these are the claws of animals. I have purposely put these photographs to explain you one concept. Why the human is born for donating, giving. So these are the claws of an animal. You can see the claws are like this. The fingers are bent inside, right? You just see it. These are animals. Even the birds, the claws of birds, you can see these are also bent inside, right? So you can see these pictures. Now you can see the human hand. It is like this. It is open. It is open. It is not bent, right? It is human hand is open. So when you give, this is the posture. When you give, this is the posture. But when you take, this is the posture. Can you see? When you take, this is the posture, and when you give, this is the posture. You are letting go. You are letting go whatever you have, you are letting go. And whenever you take, this is the posture. You bend your fingers inside. So this is the posture, and these are the claws. Are you able to understand what I want to tell you? Our hands, our body, our mind, why it is like this? We are developed and we are humans because of our generosity, because of our giving activity. If you hold things with you, if you keep everything with you, you will be filled with greed, you will be filled with hatred, ignorance. And what is resultant of all these akusala kammas? Greed, hatred, and ignorance are akusala chittas. What it is going to lead? While dying, even your mind will just hold it on, you will not let go. And which, if you believe in rebirth, then according to your intensity of mind, holding intensity, the nature will place you in that realm only, the realm that suits your intensity of mind. So you have to understand the posture that mind, human body is, or human is born to give. Your hand, it is designed to give. So that I wanted to explain you. So there is one more slide that I want to show. These are few items that you can donate. This is given in Panchagati Deepanam, that is Bhojana, that is food. If you give food, you will be reborn as a happy man, endowed with long life, fair complexion, strength and intelligence, and is free from disease. If you give clothes, you will get plenty of clothes in your next birth. If you give shelter, your all wishes will get satisfied. If you build roads and if you donate sandal and shoes, you will always become happy and get best kind of vehicles. Watersheds, you will become happy and free from greed and anxieties. If you will give park or land, you will be always worshipped with flowers and you will become prosperous and wealthy. If you give knowledge, you will secure knowledge. If you give medicine, you will be free from disease. If you will give lamp, you will have good eyesight. And if you will give beds and seats, you will secure happiness. If you will give land donation, you will become very prosperous and you will always have food grains with you readily available. So just my last slide, that is Sabbe Satta Avera Abhyapajaniga Sukhyatanang Pariharantu. May all beings be free from enmity, affliction and anxiety and live happily. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Megha. It was a wonderful talk. So we'll open the question answer session. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. I see one hand raised. Vishwanath, please go ahead, ask your question.
Yes, you can ask a question.
Vishwanath, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to just unmute from my iPhone. Sorry for that.
Yes.
You were just talking about the person who gives donations along with the following Panchashila can be reborn back as a human. So I just wanted to get clarification on that.
Okay. So in Sutta, these are the references from Tipitaka, that is Sutta Pitaka. So there Buddha says that when you must be knowing about Panchashila, that is Kamesu Michachara Veramani, Musavada Meramani, Adinna Dana Veramani. So these 5 precepts or 5 Panchashila are very crucial. If you start practicing it, you will see it that it is not that easy. If you want to practice at least one sila, even one sila, that is Musavada Veramani, you just watch yourself the entire day and you see what have you were you able to put that keep that precept, that is Musavada, or even Kamesu Michachara. So it is very difficult. Adinna Dana, that is not taking what is not given. So we have to test ourselves, right? So that's the reason Buddha says that even if a person who is following Panchashila, and if he is following Panchashila and if he is donating, and also if he is a donor, that time he is born as a human being, because Panchashila are the virtuous act. This is the Kusala Kamma, because Panchashila are also not easy to follow. Not all can follow Panchashila. That's the reason we follow Upasat, Purnima, during Purnima, 1 day in a month or 4 days in a month. Why we have to follow it on 4 days or 1 day? Why can't we follow it every day? Why Buddha has told householders that you can do Purnima Upasat on 1 day? Monks are following it throughout. That's the reason we are householders, because some or the other time we tend to break the sila, because we are still on the path of practicing and learning the things correctly. Unconsciously or without our knowledge, we tend to break the precept. So when you do Upasata, or when you are practicing Panchashila or Ashtashila on the day of Upasata, you are very particular about yourself. You are observing yourself, that what I am speaking, is it right or wrong? Is it truth? Is it true? Is there any sensual desire or any thought going on in my mind that is breaking my one sila? Or is it something that I have taken without asking anybody? Even if you are taking pen from somebody, even if you're taking a pen that is kept aside and you don't know whose it is and you're taking, that is also Adinna Dana. Even if it is not a direct theft, but still it goes into Adinna Dana. So these small things breaks the sila. So that's the reason Buddha has given more importance to Panchasila also, that a person who is following Panchasila, that also give him the great fruit, that person is born as a human being, because the human birth is very rare. Human birth is very rare. There are many suttas where Buddha explains that how rare. There is one example Buddha gives for telling the importance of human birth. Buddha asked the bhikshus that, tell me bhikshus. Buddha takes small amount of mud in his nail. Buddha takes mud in his nail. And he asked the bhikkhus, tell me bhikkhus, the mud in my nail is how much quantity if I compare it with the mud on the whole earth. If I compare the mud in my nail with the mud that is present, soil that is present on the entire earth, what is the answer? Can you tell me? Negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It is negligible. You cannot compare the mud in the nail with the entire earth. It is very negligible. So
Yeah.
Buddha says that the nail, that quantity of the mud, that quantity only is the human birth, and rest others all other kind of births. That can be a birth in the lower realms. So that important is a human birth. So that's the reason Buddha gives importance to Panchashila.
Yeah. Even what I feel, definitely following Panchila is really not easy, but we are trying our best, right?
Yes.
To follow the Panchila. Yes. That's really the first thing. And the second thing, what I'm trying to say means clarify here. So does Buddha believed on rebirth?
Yes.
And how scientific is it rebirth?
Yes. Okay,
if you compare scientifically.
I was expecting this question, and my students always ask me this question. So good. So Buddha believed in rebirth. Okay. When you read in suttas, even if you read in Abhidhamma, you will get many references about this. Even if you know the Buddha story, his previous births, we know the history of his previous births as a Sumed Brahmana. So if you don't believe Buddha, the rebirth, then you will not even believe the story of Sumedha Brahmana. From that story, the journey starts towards the Buddhahood, right? So for answering your question, I will give you one example. So whenever, suppose you know that silk sari, you must be knowing the silk sari. It is made from silkworms, right?
Yeah.
We know because now we have learned it, we have seen it. But if you go in interiors of the villages or in some areas where people are not aware of all this procedure, and if you say that this is a silkworm, and because of this silkworm, out of this silkworm, because of from his saliva, from the saliva of the silkworm, the silk threads are being manufactured. So those villagers will say that I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't believe it. Give me the proof. So they will never believe you until and unless you will show them, right? But you know that it is truth, but they don't know because they have not learned it and they have not experienced it, right? In the same way, what happens, we human beings in this birth, the knowledge is not entirely explored by us. We are human beings, and our knowledge, the capacity that we have, our mind has, we have not yet explored it yet. So that requires learning, teaching, and meditative practices. Theoretically, you will read many things, rebirth and all, but when you will come to know, when you will actually start practicing the teachings of the Buddha, automatically one question and queries and inquiries will get resolved. It is all practical. It cannot be proven or it cannot be shown that this is the rebirth of this person and this. Our mind travels because our mind, whatever a person gets liberated when all the defilements are turned to zero, are equated to zero. Defilements means akusala kamma. Our existence is because of akusala or immoral actions. Alobha. It is because of lobha, dosa, and moha. The person who removes all this, that is alobha, becomes alobha, adosa, amoha, there is nothing remaining for the next birth. The input for the next birth is attachment, craving of becoming again and again. That is the craving of becoming again and again. That is the reason for rebirth. The person who removes this attachment for the existence itself, he breaks the entire Bhava Chakra. It is said as Bhava Chakra. That is a cycle of birth and rebirth. hope I have given you some little answer for your question.
Yeah, definitely. It knocks all the corners of my brain right now. But yeah, definitely, that's a good answer from your
But it
side.
is a good question. But I will suggest you that please, if anytime, if you get time, please enroll yourself in original Pali learning, that is Tipitaka, which we say as Buddha Vachana. The only text that is remaining after the Buddha, that is the Tipitaka, which has been preserved by monks from so many years by taking lot of efforts, and it is available digital also. The suttas are translated in English also. So I will request you to please start reading these original suttas, and and you will slowly get your answers. But don't stop your inquiries. This question is very good, but don't stop here. Go at the deeper level and get the right answer through your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have next question from Sanjay Bhagat. Please go ahead, Sanjay sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Megha. It was really nice presentation, and it clarified so many things about the dana or the donations, and
Thank you, sir.
how we should do it and when should we do it. So I have one question and one clarification on two slides. So one is about when to whom we should give the dana, correct? So you have in one of the slides you listed so many qualities of a receiver we should verify before making any dana. But when any instance we have to make any donations or in dana instantly and all this, we don't verify, we could not validate those qualities. So whether that dana matters or it doesn't carry any what you can say velocity of the dana, that is one thing. And another questions I have about the slide, and there are multiple slide when it is mentioned that the dana should be given to the pious person and the Brahman. So that is, and I think these Brahman words is there in the Pali, and definitely, but at that time the concept of the Brahman is basically the qualities of a person, correct? But now it is more like a got a particular community and all this. So when now the Brahmin people saying that that is what uh, the Buddhist literature or any other literature tells to donate it to the Brahman. And so how to avoid means when we are preaching, how to avoid this creating this type of dilemma means what we intend to say, but it can be misused by someone who wanted to use for their own purposes. So these are the questions.
Correct. Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your questions. Very good questions. So first questions regarding the dana. So many a times it happens that we don't know the recipients whom we are giving, or it is an instant dana. So first of all, whatever dana you give with pure intentions, it always gives fruits. It has a good vipaka, pure vipaka. Always, whatever dana you give, whether you know the recipient, but you are giving it with pure intention, it is going to help someone. The first point that. And in the slides, I have shown the categories of the recipients. So I have covered all the categories right from the higher level recipients, means right from the Buddha, means right from the person who has attained that liberation, then the monks who are following the Eightfold Path, and it can also be any person who is on that path, and it can be any other person who is not that qualified as a recipient, but he is a needy person, right? Like in pandemic, there are many poor peoples, right? So that is our compassion, that out of that compassion we are giving. So that is dana. So it requires whatever opportunity, whenever any opportunity we get to donate, we take that opportunity and we donate. And whenever we get a sangha, that is a good, very good opportunity that we are getting to donate to that sangha. And if we get an opportunity to donate to a person who is a liberated one, that is a great opportunity. That is also a kamma vipaka only. The way we are, in the same way we confront that person. The more, because we as a donor, also we are developing ourselves. The vibrations matches with the the person in front of us. So it requires good vipaka also for us to meet that person who is a righteous person in that degree. So I have mentioned all the categories so that a donor should know that he is donating to whom. And we have to continue that donation whenever it is been required by the person. And as I said, we should not expect anything out of it, but we should have knowledge of it. We should not expect anything. We know that a donation has a good fruits, but still our mind should not get attached to the fruits. But yes, it is very true, 100% true, that whatever you donate, it will give you fruits. But it depends. Again, it is truth. To whom are you giving? It depends, but it will give you fruits. As we know, today you can find the needy people, that is the poor people who need money. We give them. Then we have actually if we have our friends and relatives, they need, then to them we give. Then we have any institutes who are working good for the Dhammas, institutes, temples. Then we have the Sangha, that is the monks, nuns who are actually following the path. Then we have more senior monks and nuns who are actually practicing and have attained some jhanas, Pathama, Dutiya, Tatiya jhana, and who are may have reached the Arhanta stage, liberated. So that is our punya vipaka, or our vipaka, that we are getting opportunity to donate to such people. But whatever opportunity we get, we have to donate. Of course, it has fruits. Hope I have answered your first question, sir.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so now regarding the second question, the term Brahmins, Shramana Brahmanas. In Pali literature, there is repetitive words when they are talking about Samanas. So it is always accompanied with Brahmins. So now we have to understand that whatever references I am giving in this PPT, I should have told it earlier. I am giving it from the literature of Tipitaka, that is Pali literature, which dates back to 2600 years back from today. We are learning something which was taught before 2600 years. We are really fortunate to listen to such words after 2600 years, which are Buddha Vachana. So that time, the terminology or the word Brahmin was not the same as it is today. This is the first thing, that what today Brahmins we call, it is just the family lineage, right? Earlier it was not. Buddha says, na jacho hoti brahmano. The one who is born in the Brahmin family is not a Brahmin. The one who have knowledge, wisdom, panya, who has learned all the three Vedas, who has attained the supernatural powers, to him I call the Brahmana, is said by the Buddha. In many suttas, there is especially the Brahman Vagga in Sanyukta Nikaya of Tipitaka. So these words are different today, very much different today. The meanings, the terminologies, the concept, everything is different. And the words in the slides are referring to the literature which is dating back to 2600 years, where that the words were having entirely different meaning. So entire Tipitaka, you will find the words as Samana and Brahmana, because Brahmana is also termed for an intellectual person, and Samana is also a synonym for an intellectual person. For today, it can create many, many people will contradict on these words, but that is correct if we compare it with today's social system. Right, that is right. I will not deny it. But when we are reading such ancient literatures, ancient concepts, then we have to go back. We also have to go back in that time. And we have to forget about today's concepts and terminologies, and we have to let people know about this at very beginning, so that such misconceptions will not lead to any difficulties ahead, because people then get confused that in Pali Tipitaka they are talking about Brahmins, they are talking about rebirth, but we have to understand all this term correctly, the context, on what context the Buddha is talking about this, right? So it depends on everything in reference and context of the literature. We have to give all the references. We cannot just give say Brahmin and Samana. We have to give references from ancient literature, that is a canonical, that is original. And that time these terms and terminologies were there, and this was oral tradition. You must be knowing that Pali Tipitakas were preserved through oral tradition, right? So orally जैसे लोग बातें करते थे, जैसे लोग बोलते थे, उसी तरीके से इसे प्रिजर्व किया गया है, और उसमें एक भी शब्द का कुछ चेंजेस नहीं है, और उसी तरीके से उसको लिखा भी गया है. It was oral tradition. लोगों का the monks, they were completely by-hearting the entire Tipitaka, that is Vinaya, Sutta and Abhidhamma Pitaka was completely by-hearted by them. वो पूरी तरीके से उनको पूरा मेमोराइज करके रखा था उन्होंने. और जब ये हुआ रिटर्न ट्रेडिशन शुरू हुआ तो वैसे के वैसे लिखा गया. बर्मा में आप देखोगे स्लैब्स पे लिखा गया था, ताम्रपत्र पे लिखा गया था, आपको पता होगा. और आपको पता होगा 6th बुद्धिस्ट काउंसिल में जब सभी देशों के मंक्स को बुलाया गया था ड्यूरिंग द 6th बुद्धिस्ट काउंसिल, व्हेन ऑल द मंक्स वेर इनवाइटेड फॉर रिसाइटिंग द पाली त्रिपिटका. और इन दैट 6th बुद्धिस्ट काउंसिल Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was also there, and also Goenka Guruji, he was also there for seva. That time during the 6th Buddhist Council, there were so many monks who came from different countries, and they were having their own Tipitaka. The Tipitaka was in Pali language, but the scripts were different. Indian Tipitaka was in Devanagari script. Thai Tipitaka was in Thai script. Sri Lankan Tipitaka was in Sinhala script. Cambodian Tipitaka was in their own script. So from so many countries, they brought their Tipitaka and they recited it completely together. And the magic is, there was not even a single word that was different. Can you imagine? There was not even a single word that was different. Only the accent was different because they belonged to different country. But the entire Tipitaka was same, retained. How it happened? It's really magic. How it happened, how it traveled to different countries, and that too, there were no changes. No changes. Everywhere, in all countries, people are learning Tipitaka. It is digitalized. Lot of efforts. I venerate to all those who have taken lot of efforts, the monks, the nuns, the upasak, upasika, who have taken lot of efforts to preserve this text first in book forms, tamlapatra, slabs, then in books, and then in digital format. That it is now very easy for all of us to just go on the website and take it. Entire Tipitaka is there online. All the 84,000 suttas, Dhamma Skandas are there. 84,000. Can you imagine? One life is not enough. So, sir, is it? Did I answer your question?
Yes. Thanks, Megha. Only thing that means whenever we are using these words which are totally different meaning in the current sense or current.
Yes, I can understand.
I think we need to add some type of the clarification in
correct,
the beginning
correct.
for the people.
You have to put some footnotes. Footnotes are some clarification definitions to clarify that this term belongs to. In the past literature, it was not termed like this. Correct. You have to give the context and references.
Correct. Because we have experienced that people manipulate the things for their own convenience the way they want, and that is what the pitfall we wanted to avoid. So that's all. Thank you.
Buddha explains it very clearly, this Brahman term. There is entirely Brahman Vaggana. You can refer in Sanyukta Nikaya. If you can go surf on Google, you can see just Brahmana Vagga. You will get the translations completely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay sir. Next question is from Satyanath. Please go ahead.
Okay, hello, Jai Bhim.
Yes. Jai Bhim.
Very informative. I have a question about this fruits of Dana. If we are expecting fruits of Dana, that's not really selfless Dana.
Correct.
If you emphasize that you will get the fruits of Dana, that means you are promising that, or whoever, or Buddha is promising that you will get the fruits of Dana. So the Dana is not really selfless.
Yes, correct.
It's kind of confusing.
Okay.
And get copies of your slides. They seemed very informative. It was very interesting. These are the two questions I had. Thank you very much. It was very well presented. You just seemed a little bit in a hurry because I think it's better to cut down on the material and be a little bit slower.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Than be include because even the amount of things that you conveyed to us, I'm sure you have much more, and then you would have had to become even faster than you were. So you have to compromise somewhere. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, nonetheless, it was very.
Thank you, sir, for your question and also for your suggestion. I will try to be slow. My students also tell me, ma'am, slow, little slow. Thank you so much. So regarding your question, I will come back to your question regarding dana and expecting the fruits. Yes, I mentioned in the slides and I have made it very clear. So here the challenge lies. Here the challenge lies. What Buddha says that whenever you are giving a dana, it should be accompanied with ti hetuka chitta. That is alobha, that is without greed, adosa, that is non-hatred, and amoha, that is without ignorance, that is you should be accompanied with right knowledge. So this panya or the amoha, it is the right knowledge about kamma and vipak. Buddha is saying about that you should know what actions you are doing and what are its resultants. That is panya, that is right knowledge. And you should know how to do that kamma, that is with metta, and that too with non-greed, without attachment. Okay. So when you give, you know that your donations will give fruits, but still you are not attached to the fruits. You have the knowledge of kamma and vipak, but here lies the challenge that you are not attached to the fruits, and that you can overcome only through practice. And only through practice one can develop a mind of non-attachment towards the fruits. Because when you start giving, then you don't think about fruits only, because it becomes your kusala kammas and it becomes your nature of giving. Whenever you give, you just give and forget it. Whenever you give, you just give and forget it. Even if you know the kusala kamma and vipaka, you are not attached to that vipaka. Many a times I have seen people, they donate and then their names are being written there, donated by, or sometimes many a people. So many times it happens. It is said that unknown dana, because you are not expecting anything, fame or anything from your dana. So many times people give it without giving their name. Unknown dana. It is without the name. It is just a donation. Many people give. Why they give it without name? Because they don't want anything from that dana. They don't want any name. They don't want any person to know that, oh, he has given so much of dana. He has given so many thousands of rupees or so many lakhs of rupees. They give it silently. Because the organization knows, few people know. They don't publicize it. So that is the dana, because that person is not attached. He is only focused of where my dana is going and hope. And he just expect that this dana should be useful for the people to whom I am given. Only this well-wisher, these things are going on his mind and he is progressing in his path. Because he is releasing, he is getting detached. Like our computer, you know computer, we have keyboard. So to reach our computer memory, we use the keyboard. These are the buttons. What are our buttons to reach inward? Our buttons are kaya, vacha and mana, our hands, our actions, our speech and our thoughts. These are our buttons. The moment you start performing through your hands, the button has been clicked. If you start giving, your computer, your mind gets the command of to let go, to let go. Whenever you are giving, the minds get the command to let go. So by giving again and again, you are training your mind to let go everything. Whatever is being saturated in your mind from so many long years, so much of pain. If you have mental and physical pain, that pain is because of greed and hatred. If our mind is accompanied with greed, asakti and dvesh, तो हम आपके शरीर में पूरा मानसिक पेन, तनाव और शारीरिक पेन होगा. अगर ऐसा कभी होता है तो समझ जाओ कि कुछ चीजें मैंने रखी है अंदर, ग्रीड है, खिंचाव है, मैंने होल्ड करके रखी है, और अंदर किसी के लिए द्वेष है, तो मेरा बॉडी पे अभी इतना बढ़ गया है कि नाउ इट हैज कंप्लीटली टेकन ओवर योर बॉडी एंड हेल्थ. द मोमेंट यू स्टार्ट गिविंग, the entire stress starts releasing. Your body starts releasing it, because now mind has got the pattern. You have trained your mind by giving to let go, because dana is let go, giving your possessions and attachment. Whatever you have holded in your mind and holded it for so long years, now it is loosening. It is losing, because there is no other way to reach your mind. Many people will tell you, अरे छोड़ दे टेंशन, किधर पकड़ के रखता है, किधर वो अटैचमेंट, पर कैसे करे उसे, कैसे उसको रिलीज करे. So these actions of generosity helps us. And even if we know the good fruits, but when we are used to donation and when we are doing this kusala karma slowly, the expectations are also not there. There is nothing, because the joy of giving gives you so much pleasure. When you start giving and when you see that happy person, the face of that happy person, that is enough. And then we forget about all the fruits. So that is the detachment from the fruits. This is the challenge, and this challenge we have to we get trained slowly when we started performing. So it is a procedure, and it is the way the mind responds. It is because it is very normal that if you come to know the vipaka, we are human beings, and we also want something. Whenever we get something, we are happy. So our mind waits for the fruits. It happens. Somewhere there is a kid inside, and that kid is waiting for the fruits. It happens. But you have to train that kid that not to attach with the fruits. Just keep going, keep giving, just doing the good act. Whatever will happen, that will happen at that time. You don't have to expect and calculate when it will get. So that is the challenge for the procedure of Dana. Thank you, sir, for the question. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yeah, so it's just still confusing. Anyway, but I wanted to also ask you about the written scripts of whatever is supposed to be Buddha's teaching. That started much after Buddha. So personally, I feel that if anything is conveyed by mouth, it is bound to change, and it's not quite right to claim some written scripture, whether it is in Pali or Brahmi or whatever,
Correct.
To be the real teaching of Buddha. It must have changed. And then also I wanted to mention that somewhere you mentioned that one of the fruits will be lighter complexion, lighter. So there is already a value system attached on the skin color of a person.
Okay. Yeah, sir, I would like to clear here that translation is wrong actually. This is my previous slides or from previous years. That is not about complexion. It is about healthy skin. I forgot to mention it is about the healthy skin. Vanna. In Pali, there is one word, vanna. I got it clarified one monk, and that monk told me that it is not about the complexion, but it is about the healthy skin which shines.
Well, the healthy skin doesn't have to be light complexion.
No, it is wrong actually. Yes, you have pointed it correctly. Yes.
So I from that I concluded that it was probably written. The script was written by somebody belonging to the Brahmin caste, or somebody coming from the northwest, or and Middle East, or Central Asia, or whatever they are supposed to have come and infected all of India with caste system. So that was just a remark I wanted to make. But
yes, sir, it can be possible. It depends on the translators, how they translate. So it's fine.
And even whoever has written, the writing itself has been from the mouth, from.
Sorry to interrupt, Satyanathji. We have other people's waiting for the questions, so maybe you can reach out to Megha offline and you can continue your discussion. So let's move on. So we have a discussion from Deepak. Please go ahead, Deepak.
Hello, sir. It's very interesting to listen, Megha. I have a question which is political. So I come from Gujarat, and we have this discourse of service in our society because Gandhi's influence is very much here. So we can see here this ashram, this institute, and it has big impact on learning here. So
actually, your voice is not clear. I'm unable to hear you.
Hello, can you hear my voice?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying I come from Gujarat, and Gandhi's notion of service and Dana is much influential, much dominant here in society. So I was thinking of Ambedkar's engagement with the question of service and dana. Like you mentioned, he attended many programs in presence of monks. So how it has been articulated in his work or in his speeches. So I would like to know about it.
Actually, I didn't got your question clearly, properly. Couldn't hear it properly.
I would like to know how Ambedkar has engaged in this discourse of service and dana. Because when I look at in my society, we have Gandhi's influence, and he has established ashrama. So it's more like obliged kind of discourse. Like you have to come, you have to participate. So how does it differ with Ambedkar motion?
Okay, Pradeep, can you tell me? It is not clear actually.
He's asking, he's from Gujarat, and Gujarat, Gandhi is a strong influence. And whenever they talk about dana and generosity, it Gandhiism that comes into the picture. So he wants to know what is Ambedkar's perspective on dana, and what is what he talked about, how he instructed and everything.
Okay, so regarding the concept of dana, understand this: dana is an act of generosity. So it does not belong to any belief or any as you said, any philosophy like Gandhian philosophy or Gandhian people, or even if Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, people who are following them. It doesn't belong to. It is a universal act. It is an universal act of generosity. It is a compassion. It is metta. It is loving kindness, compassion, empathy towards other being who is like you and who is suffering. It is just that, which is very natural. It is a natural phenomenon. So it does not belong to anything. And I think everywhere people are practicing this generosity. So it can't be termed as belonging to anybody. It is just a human nature. It happens automatically. Many of the people don't know many of the teachings, but still they are donating because it's in human nature. That is their kusala kamma, and they are developing their mind unconsciously because they are good human beings. The three qualities I've told you earlier of a good person, that is the saddha, faith, and then hiri, moral shame, and kusalancha danancha. This is a quality of good person. So that person can be belonging to anything. So it cannot, I cannot just categorize, and I cannot just sectorize it in any ways.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent answer, Megha. Next question we have from Kranti. Please go ahead, Kranti.
Hi, Megha ji. Thank you for coming on Vihara. This was a really good talk. My question is, you mentioned that besides full moon day, we should try our mind and try to follow the 5 precepts. Would you be able to explain what 4 days are?
Yes. You can see in your calendar, you can see 2 Ashtamis and 1 Purnima and Amavasya. These are the 4 days people are practicing the Uposatha and practicing the Panchasila. Mostly during the Uposatha day, we have to practice Atthasila, 8 Shilas, right? But you can at least start with Panchashila to get yourself trained, to train your mind, and slowly, when you are able to do it, even if you're not able to do it. Once I asked a monk that, what if I have broken one of the precepts in the entirety? What should I do? So that monk told me that don't worry, don't be hard on yourself. Do it next time, the next day, next time when you will do your Uposatha. That time remember that last time I have broken this precept. This time I will try to follow it. So you have to slowly get to perfection. It will happen that first day you will not be able to do any of the precepts, because now that day you will be observing everything, that whether I am telling the truth the entire day. So then you will tend to be quiet entire day because you will not. It is not only truth. It is like 4 kinds of speech. You have to do Samma Vacha that day. So what is Samma Vacha? You have to know. that you should not do ideal speech, just speaking without any reason. Then you should not speak any abusive words or harsh words, or you should not just go and do chit chat with any others, or you should not lie to anybody. So if you're doing this, then that is the right speech. So you have to observe your entire day. Why am I talking? Is it required? Am I speaking any harsh word today? Or am I just talking without any reason? So you will observe that there is no need to talk the entire day. If you will observe that if you are speaking only for the purpose, that is samavacha. That is right speech. That is actually musavada veramani. That is, you're not telling lie. It is with additional more speech, more factors of the speech that one should know. So slowly, gradually you have to train yourself. If you're not able to do it one uposatha day, then train your mind and tell your mind the next uposatha day I will do it. Do strong determination. Take efforts. You will have to take efforts. You will have to do strong determination for that. Right? And then on the next next uposatha day, you remember that that day I was not able to. So for at least 5 to 10%, you improve yourself in the next uposatha. Then the third uposatha, you again remember what you were not able, again you improve. So improving yourself slowly, one uposatha day, you will be able to follow all the silas, Panchashila, Attasila, and that uposatha day, you will see, uposatha day, you have to eat before noon. So one first day, it will be difficult to eat before noon because we are not used to it. But slowly, you will get it habitual. You will understand, you will learn to manage the timings, when to eat, when to cook, how to manage the time that day. So you will learn it. It is a gradual process. So don't be hard on yourself. Just be relaxed and you be happy that at least you are trying to do something. You are trying to follow the Sila and Kusala Kammas. Did I answer your question, Kranti?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kranti. So next question is from Vishal. Please go ahead, Vishal.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Thanks for this illuminating talk. I really appreciate you coming and giving that talk. And I like to give a slight context to my question. I hope I'll not be so long. So, so one thing which you rightly mentioned, the knowledge that whatever we have and which was written many years ago, almost 2,000, 3,000 years ago. And I personally find, or I'm not sure what is your view on that, the struggle that we face to kind of explain that or give a reasoning of like, okay, why you should do this in the modern world. That's the constant struggle. And I do like to know your views on that. But before that, I would like to also kind of explain that how, at least in the corporate America, how it is looked at. So for instance, if you ask in the corporate America, they'll say, okay, yeah, like selflessly giving someone might not be a good thing because nice guy always finish last, or it's rather tit for that kind of a world which exists there. And you need to really help yourself first before you can even help others. And while this is very predominant, I also get to read a book, which is by an American thinker and a good author. His name is Adam Grant. And he has written a book called Give and Take. And it essentially explains the same thing what you've been explaining, which of course was written many years ago. But of course, it's in the more modern context. And I don't know whether my interpretation is right, but at least I feel the same way. And he basically says that there are three kinds of people. The people, those who always give without really expecting anything in return. Then there are people who always take. They don't give at all. And then there are people who try to match always, like, okay, you give me something, I'll give you something. And there's a four kinds of people. And the fourth people, those are more like fakers. I mean, they really create, like they only give it to people whom they are getting something in return. And I think the whole world likes to see, oh, these are the fakers who are taking all the benefits. And then they have done some statistical analysis as well in the book saying okay, what are the people who goes at the top and what are the people who are at the bottom? I don't know how they did that, but there's some data or something to support it. And they found out, which is really striking, because they found out the people at the bottom of the ladder, in terms of success and recognitions and economic rewards, they were still like givers, which was very like shocking to me when I started reading the book. But then he goes and explains, and then he says, but then if you see, the people at the top are also the givers. The people who are really good in their field, they are givers, and they selflessly helping. But then at the same time, this whole philosophy is applied in the modern context, as in giving your knowledge, or giving a knowledge through education, or doing some kind of a volunteering in the very modern sort of world. So my second question to you is, would you like how we can take this knowledge of Buddhism and apply in a more modern world, or rather, do we feel a need to kind of transform that knowledge which exists in an older script and kind of put it in the more modern language or in the modern world? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. Riga, I just have one doubt. You talked about constant struggle. What was it about? Continuous struggle, you were talking something about. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
You asked me something about constant struggle. Can you just clarify it again?
Yeah, meaning applying the knowledge which is the older knowledge in the current context, in the modern world, where people has a belief like that giving will not really get you a benefit. And I mean, there's like a predominant kind of a view these days, like that's the struggle that we face.
Okay, so I will combine your both questions, because more or less they are addressing the same issue regarding the Dana practice, whether to give it or not, because the belief of the Dana, where people are thinking that the givers are mostly at the bottom of the ladder, right? Mostly we see the givers does not reach at that success level, right? You're right, it's your observation, right? But you have to understand, when we read this.
No, ma'am, clarification. The clarification is that no, there are the givers also at the top as well. The top people are also giver. That's really the data which says. So I don't want to say that I believe in that. No, it's not that way.
Fine. So here I will like to tell you, when we read these ancient scriptures, right? So these are the truth, right? The actual way the man or human being has to be. This is the way a human has to be. This is the guidelines for a good human being if you want to live a happy and a peaceful life. First thing this. Second thing, when you are in a corporate world, or when you are in a world outside of the spiritual world, right? Your approach towards looking at the things that matters. Now you have to understand. When we read these teachings of the Buddha, then many times we think that if I am following everything at my corporate place, people are going to kill me. People are going to kick me like anything, because if I'm not getting angry, if I'm not protecting myself, if I'm doing all this, how I am able to survive, right? So for this, one has to understand how to apply these teachings in the practical world. That is a training. You have to, Buddha never tells that you should not protect yourself. Buddha says, Chetanaham bhikkhave kammam vadami. Your volition, your intentions are the kammas. Understand this thing. Your intentions are the kammas. Like a mother, example I'm giving, like a mother whose child is putting her finger in the fire. What the mother will do? The mother will pull that child, and she will beat that child for that act. But she is beating that child because to protect that child, right? So you have to understand this act. Why we have to do the kusala kamma? Because you are protecting yourself, because you know. Because truth cannot be changed. You have to understand, whatever people are doing outside, truth cannot be changed. You have to first believe that this is true. First thing. Second thing, if the place where you are working or the place wherever we are working, we have to understand how to address some issues here. What is the work culture here? You have to protect yourself there. If there is a need to speak out, you have to speak. But your mind, intentions should be filled with all wholesome thoughts. The thoughts should not be colored. The thought should not be colored. The thought should be pure. Even if the person in front of you, you hate that person, or even if that person is fighting with you, is abusing you, or if there is any fight between you and that person, and you are answering that person back in the same voice, that's fine. But your chetana, your intentions, your thought process should be kusala. Even if whatever critical situation is there, there should be no evil thought for that person. No evil thought. That it should be filled with only loving kindness. This is kamma. You are protecting yourself with your kaya kamma, but on the other side, you are protecting your kusala kamma here. You are actually committing a kusala kamma because you are not giving any evil thoughts about, you are not putting any evil thoughts for that person. It takes efforts because whenever any person is talking ill about you, you cannot resist yourself. The next minute you will start talking ill about that person and the fight will arise. It can be physical also. The fight can be physical also. And because of such thing, that it goes to when such extremities that even people tend to commit murders. It is that serious, right? So we have to understand, you can protect yourself by many ways. Since we are humans and we are not used to such thoughts that even if person is saying and we are just keeping quiet, it is difficult. Initially it will be difficult, but you will understand the magic of keeping silent. Wherever you can manage, you have to be just, because actually you are protecting yourself. You are not protecting that person by not saying bad words. You are actually following your sila. And this is the law of nature. You have to believe the law of nature. Yes, in the practical world, it is difficult. But you have to practice here in the mind through your thought process. Here, and that will happen when you will start training your mind that way. Even if you are speaking from your mouth bad words, but your mind, your intention should not be bad. You should not give any ill will to that person. No, it should not be filled with ill will. It is difficult. But if you start practicing, it will happen. And slowly you will calm down. And then nothing will affect you. Because you have understood the magic of this calmness. This skillful mind, you will understand this magic, your health, everything. And the person in front of you will be shocked. And he will stop. He will ask you, what happened? You have to stop, because if fire is there has to be water. Because fire's nature is to burn and water's nature is to seize that fire. So you have to choose, because if fire burns, it will burn you also. And it will burn, along with you, it will burn others also. It is the nature of fire. It's your choice whether you want to burn or whether you want to be quiet or whether you want to be peaceful or calm like a water. So it's upon you. It is difficult, but it will happen slowly. Even if there are beliefs or even if it is written, it is practically correct. Whatever you have just told me about how it works actually in the practical world, it is correct because we see it. But why it happens? Because people are not training their mind here. We have to train our mind here, and then we have to work accordingly to grow also. Because you are not a monk or a nun, you are a householder, you are a lay follower. So you have to understand, being a lay follower, you have to also survive in the practical world. So how to survive? So what Buddha says, the person who does not understand all these things, but Buddha says is him like a balo. You have to be in between intelligent people only who will understand you. You don't have to be surrounded with the people who don't understand you, and you don't have to need to make them able to understand you, because they are not going to understand you anytime. It's better to, you have to change yourself. You have to see among whom are you, because intellectuals will never do this. Because those people who understand this, because they respect the intelligence only, panya, knowledge. Buddha says the knowledgeable person is the leader in the human realm. Payyavan, the person who is knowledgeable, people venerate the knowledge only. So we have to just understand what is going wrong and where it is going, and am I getting affected by all these things? Why am I getting affected? Why should I get affected? Are you accepting the person what he's saying? Are you accepting those facts? No. So you have to just let it go. Let it go. It happens. With how many people we will fight? With how many people we will fight in this world? We don't have that much time. We have time for ourselves, for our development. We don't have time to fight with people. Just let go. We don't have time, because from every side, every corner, the arrows are coming to hit you. This is only your paiya, your knowledge that is going to protect you. That is your kavach, suraksha kavach that we call. That is going to protect you, the right knowledge. You just believe in what you do. Don't just see what others are telling. You just have to believe in what you do and what, because whatever you are doing and whatever it is, if it is right, it is going to bring you fruits. This is the law of nature. If you are putting the seed in the soil, the crop is going to come, the seed is going to come up one day, the crop, and then that crop will grow to a huge tree. So believe in yourself and keep working towards the goal and targets. That is it. There is no shortcuts, nothing. We have to, more books, everything is written, but we know the reality. What is there? We have to work spiritually. We have to grow spiritually also, and we have to go work. We have to grow in practical life also. We have to balance everything as a householder. And slowly, when you will start practicing the teachings, you will understand how to balance it. How to, so that you will not commit any akusala also, and you will also balance everything with practicing the teachings also. It happens. The same doubt was with me when I started this learning Pali literature, teachings of the Buddha. I was very confused. How to perform then? How to behave in public life, or in householder life, or in office and corporates? People are going to eat me. How? Then slowly, when I started reading, practicing, initially I was also very much stressed. Ye kya ho raha hai? But slowly I understood how it happens, and how I have to manage it, how I have to manage both the things. So that's it. This is the way we have to do. We have to balance both, because truth will remain always truth. We cannot change it. Also, Buddha says one thing, that as the one point you said, you should not give the person, you have to select your recipients. Buddha has always told you, it is not compulsory to give to everybody. There are few people who continuously who are only takers. So you have to decide to whom you have to give. It is up to you. It is not forced on you. So that's the reason Buddha has categorized the people who are the recipients of your donation. So you have to decide properly, and you should give that time when you have it. That you have to divide your income, and the last part is the donation. It is categorized, not entire thing you cannot give. Only one part, one portion. After fulfilling all your needs, there is one portion that has to be kept aside for the monks and nuns, monasteries and temples. It is up to you to whom you have to donate, right? These are the donors, recipients. And this is the law of nature. If you are sowing the seed will go, one day it will be a small crop, and then it will be a bigger tree. That is a law of nature. It will take time. It takes time, but it is truth. Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. Thanks for that elaborate answer.
Yes, I know it is a little tricky. It is very tricky. But with little efforts, by little faith in ourselves and the teachings, we can practice it. It is difficult, but slowly you will understand. Slowly you will understand how to behave in public, how to behave in corporate office with relatives. Everywhere you will understand, and you will learn the skill. You will learn this skill. There are many jatakas. I am working on jatakas. The question that you asked, that was there in the jataka. The same answer was given by the Buddha to one upasaka. He asked how to be successful in life. Who becomes successful? Then the Buddha answers, the person who always blames others, the The person who always is greedy, something, there are 5 characteristics. Then the person who is asking the question, he becomes disgusted. Oh, will I have to do all this to become successful? Then it's better than I should become a monk. He becomes a monk. He should say, I cannot do this all things. I want to become a monk. So such kind of jatakas are there, where upasakas are going and asking the Buddha directly. So such stories are there, and your question is very, very valid, very much valid. But yes, have faith on yourself, have faith on the Dhamma teachings, and little, gradually try to practice. Don't bombard yourself, and don't anytime criticize yourself, and don't have remorse on anything. So, oh, today I have done this wrong. We are humans. We are going to do wrong things. That's the reason we are learning. Be open to learning. That is the achievement. If you are open to learning, then you have started the first step towards your own development. If you are ready to implement, then again another smaller step. Take smaller steps. Don't be angry with yourself. Don't think much about it. Practice it slowly and gradually. Automatically you will get your answers, and you will balance your own life. In this way only it happens.
So we have 2 more questions, and I think we will conclude after that. So next question is from Param. Please go ahead, Param.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, thanks for enlightening about Dana. You mentioned about the use of Brahmin word in Tripitaka. In Ashokan time, the Pali text was written in Iyam Dhamma Lipi, but some people mention it as Brahmi Lipi. So my question is that, does both words, Iyam Dhamma Lipi and Brahmi Lipi, belongs to Buddhism? And I mean, is Brahmi is inherited form of the Brahman word? And as a Dhamma follower, should we accept the Pali script as Iyam Dhamma Lipi or Brahmi Lipi?
Okay, thank you for your question, sir. But this question actually regarding Brahmi script, Brahmi inscriptions is not my expertise. This is not my area. So I cannot dig the history, and I cannot actually give you justice for your question regarding Brahmi script and Dhamma Lipi. But yes, I can tell you, in the inscriptions, we find the word Iyam Dhamma Lipi, that this is the Dhamma Lipi. Right, that is true. But I cannot trace back the history of the Brahmi word and the history of why the name Brahmi Lipi and now why Dhamma Lipi. I cannot go back to that because that is not my area. But yes, that is a valid question. Yes.
All right, next question is from Sheetal Mishra. Please go ahead, Sheetal.
Okay, thank you very much, Megha ma'am. Such a wonderful session, such a delight to hear you again. So I'm so grateful to you that you joined our session today. My question is, like, for example, like while giving a dana, I'm doing with all the all the kusala chetana, like alobha, adosa, amoha, like ti hetuka kusala chitta, and done that act. But after some time, if I'm remembering that act and I somehow just regret that, so my original act still remains ti hetuka kusala, right? But after, like, if I'm regretting after some time, so my original dana will remain still like ti hetuka, but now this fresh whatever akusala I'm thinking, like, oh, why I'm regretting, so it's just gonna be new, fresh, unwholesome action, right?
Right. So regarding your question, first of all, thank you so much, Sheetal Mishra madam, for inviting me for this session. And moving to your question regarding ti hetuka kusala kamma, that while you are performing this act, that time it was ti hetuka, and now after a few days again you are remembering and you are regretting. So that was kusala kamma which you have performed earlier. But I will like to clear it that when you performed that act, it was not ti hetuka. It was accompanied with lobha. That's the reason you are regretting. If it would be accompanied with a lobha, you would never ever remember that material or that act that you have donated. You will never ever, you will just forget it because it was accompanied with alobha. So that is the thing, that the first act that you did, it was accompanied with lobha. It was not ti hetuka, right? It was not completely ti hetuka. Somewhere there was attachment that time also. And that's the reason you are regretting now after that act has been done. So that act was that time also not ti hetuka. Still it was kusala. It is going to give you fruits, but it was not ti hetuka. And now also you are regretting. So it is going to diminish, or it is going to subtract some portion of your merits. That is the law of nature. But you have to understand that the moment you have donated, the time you have donated, that time also your chitta, chetana was not ti hetuka. You have misunderstood that ti hetuka that time. It was somewhere there was that attachment to that material. That's the reason that it was not tu hetuka. That's the reason it developed the regret. Otherwise, it wouldn't have developed that regret.
Okay, so there's something subtlety there over we didn't understand. We always think like, oh, it was without a lobha, but there is something there.
Correct.
Like what if sometimes we at that time, like somebody like urging us to donate, and that time we are not were willing to donate, but we still donated it by somebody else's, urging us. But later we think like, oh, it was really good because I did that, because now it is like in opposite direction, I'm thinking. But
yes, so what happens in this case, that you have donated because somebody has told you to donate. So that time your chitta was not ti hetuka, right? It may be disturbed a little bit, but still you have donated. But because of that action of donation, your mind is releasing automatically, because action is done, na? It will have its vipaka. The body will start reacting because the action has been done. It is a law of nature. So suddenly your mind shifts. That is only the resultant, that you are now thinking that, oh, I should have done it. It is a good act. The act that you have done, that is the result, that you are now thinking it in a positive way, because automatically it is releasing, the thought process is releasing, because you have actually done that action of giving. And the action of giving is connected with your thought process and your entire mechanism of working of your mind. The moment you give, it lets go. It lets go your stress the moment you give. So it is that only, that impact is changing your thought process now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I cannot hear you, Pradeep. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So, on that note, it was a wonderful session. Thank you, Megha, for coming and sharing all the information of Dana. It was very insightful. We talked about Dana being one of the first perfection at the practice of Buddhism. Dana leads to basically we practice Dana to get rid of greed and attachment. You also mentioned about Dana and Metta. It's correlated. Like when you do Dana, you generate more Metta, and when you generate more Metta, you give more Dana, and that leads to positive Chetana, which is intention. And once we have that right Chetana, we basically can get rid of suffering through greed, ignorance, and anger. So Dana is extremely important. This is how we can conclude. And the last thing I want to mention is Dana is also should be given with the right intention, right way, timely manner. And those are the qualities when we should always think about when we give Dana. And the recipients should always think about they have to be perfect in morality, concentration, and wisdom. They have to practice Eightfold Path to receive the Dana. So on that note, I can finally say that Dana basically is a practice of let go. When you really practice Dana, you really learn to let go and get rid of your suffering. So it was a wonderful session. Thank you for have a good day. Wonderful time. Take care. Good night. Bye.